Okay, folks, I'm going to really quick talk through what the assignment is in case you might have forgotten. So you're going to start off, and your first slide is going to be your title page. So for this one, I might say Energy's Big Journey, or I could give it a name, the trip of Ernie the Energy, or whatever I choose. And then I have my byline by Miss Miller. So, um, I don't necessarily want to leave this blank just because I want it to be a little bit more interesting than that. If I want to change the background, what I can do is I can go background and I can pick a color and it will make the color of this particular slide change. Now let's say I want all of my slides to have the same background color. What I can do is I can go add to theme and it will now make all of my backgrounds of my slides the same color, so I don't have to do that every single slide. Another thing that I've seen people do is they picked out a theme, and so there's all sorts of different themes that you can look at and select if that's something that interests you. But I think I just kind of want to stick with this because it's less distracting to me. All right, so your story is supposed to follow a piece of energy as it travels from the sun to producer to consumer to consumer to decomposer to producer to consumer to consumer to decomposer. So, on here you have two different boxes. You have this box up here, which has bigger lettering already set for it, but remember you can alter the size of the lettering just by changing the size of the font. And then you have another one here that has a lot smaller lettering. I think I'm personally, just because I'm only putting a few words on the page, I think I want to use the bigger one. So let's say I want to get rid of the smaller one. All that I have to do is click on the edge of the box and hit backspace, and that will get rid of it. Then if I want to, I can take this box and move it down, and then that way it covers all of this. So I have the energy actually coming from the sun, and it flew through space and ended up on Earth in blueberries. So let's say on this page, I have my sun, which I kind of like, but let's say that I want some blueberries. So what I can do is I can go over here and clip on iClipArt. And this one, you actually have to have a username and password in order to do this. So your username is 1053NIXO and your password is AEA10. And I can hit sign in, and then it will let me look at all of the different types of clip art. So I can look at this, I can look at this. Let's say though that I want to search for blueberry bush. So then it will find me pictures of a blueberry bush. Let's say I like this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it, and then I am going to click download, or maybe I won't. Add to basket. There we go. I couldn't click, oh, I would need a file format. I'm going to pick a JPEG, and I can go download. And then when I get my picture, I'm going to take two fingers and tap them at the same time on the mouse pad, and it is going to allow me to copy the image. So I copy the image, and then I go to my story, and I'm going to hit the Control and V in order to paste. And I'm going to size it the correct way. And let's say that I want to put in an arrow. I can go over here to shapes. There's arrows. And I want to put in this arrow. And I put in an arrow going that way. I can use this little thing right here to rotate it a bit. I can use a fill color if I want to make it have a certain color. And then I have my first slide. When it comes time to add another slide, I hit the plus button. And again, I think about, okay, what am I going to write? So you're supposed to write about what it's like to be the blueberry. I am sitting in the sun getting all fat and juicy because you're a blueberry. A bird comes along and oh no! I am eaten up. My energy is now in the robin. Okay, so then what I can do is, I don't think I want that, so I'm going to get rid of that box. And let's say that I want to use Creative Commons this time, which is fine. This one you can just search up. You don't need a password or anything for. So for this one, let's say I want eating berries. We'll see if that one pops up. Hey, look at that. Unfortunately, it's not blueberries. But we'll say I want to use this one here. And what I can do is I click on it and then I use 2 fingers at the same time on the mouse pad. I copy the image and then I go back to my story and I can go Control V and it will put this into my book. And then I can add another one. I enjoy flying. Might help if I spell it right. It is fun jumping from branch to branch. Then whap. Out of nowhere, a hawk swoops in and eats the robin. My energy is now a part of the hawk. Okay, so let's say that I want to get rid of that. Now, with these boxes, what you can do is you can change the size and shape of them. So let's say that I want to do this. And then I can go into this. Let's say I want to find a hawk. So there's lots of different pictures of hawks. Let's say I want that one. And I can pick the file format. I can go download and copy the image and go back and paste it. And then I can move it around on my slide however I want. And there we go. And I go on to the next one. So you're going to keep going until you get to a top consumer, which this is. And then what you're going to do is you're going to have a decomposer. So my next slide would be a decomposer of some sort. I'll do this. Decomposer. This slide would be a decomposer of some sort. And then my next slide would be a producer of some sort, talking about how it's coming up through the soil and giving energy to the producer. And then from there, it's going to go through the process one more time, and then your story is over. So that's the plan for how to do your story.